looks like a motorcycle, but it doesn't touch the road. Imagine leaning into a corner while your bike hovers above the asphalt on a cushion of magnetic force, silent, instant, and blisteringly fast. This is the promised future of the gravity bike, a radical blend of Maglev tech, quantum batteries, and flight control gyros that makes motorcycles feel like something out of a science fiction fever dream. The motorcycle is the purest expression of speed and freedom. For decades, engineers have chased more power, lighter frames, and sharper handling. Now, the evolution isn't just about raw horsepower. It's about rewriting the rules of traction and contact. The gravity bike throws away wheels-on-road assumptions and replaces them with magnetic levitation, active stabilizers, and adaptive suspension that can morph mid-ride. That's why bikers and militaries both salivate at the idea. A two-wheeled machine that can cross rubble, skim flood water, or sprint across an open field with zero tire friction. Core technologies. Several technologies converge to make a gravity bike plausible. First, magnetic levitation. The same principle behind maglev trains uses electromagnetic fields to lift the bike a hair above a conductive track. But where trains have dedicated guideways, gravity bikes need localized levitation, onboard superconducting coils, or compact mag arrays, creating a magnetic cushion against specially treated road surfaces or temporary conductive strips. Second, energy density. Quantum batteries and next-gen supercapacitors are theoretical accelerators here, packs that deliver massive bursts of power to levitation coils and thrusters without frying the rider. Third, fly-by-wire gyroscopes and AI stabilization. Motorcycles balance dynamically, add hover capability, and you need split-second corrections from arrays of MEMS, gyros, reaction wheels, and vectored microthrusters. Finally, lightweight composites and retractable aerodynamic surfaces let the bike reshape its drag profile at speed. Variants: road, hybrid, combat. Gravity bikes aren't one-size-fits-all. Designers imagine at least 3 classes. Urban hover models use low-altitude mag cushions for smooth city travel, reducing pothole risks and offering whisper-quiet commutes. Hybrid rally bikes mix wheels for low-speed toughness with hover modules that deploy for fast sections or obstacle avoidance. Combat-spec gravity bikes take a darker turn. Armored skegs, silent electric pulse engines, and modular payload bays for recon drones or countermeasures. A racer's model would strip weight, optimize field coils, and trade armor for thrust. Meanwhile, a military scout would carry sensors, stealth coatings, and jamming arrays. A low-profile platform that glides over minefields and marshes without tripping pressure sensors. The physics problem. The physics are ruthless. Levitation near ground needs strong magnetic gradients and either a prepared surface or a system that can induce currents in ordinary pavement. That leads to 2 approaches: infrastructure-led. Cities install conductive lanes or magnetic strips, or vehicle-led. Bikes carry enough power and smart sensors to generate local eddy currents on demand. Each has trade-offs. Building lanes is expensive but efficient. Carrying power is flexible but heavy. Stability is another beast. A hover bike must manage lateral forces during cornering, handle crosswinds, and avoid dangerous resonances with the rider's body. Engineers solve this by active suspension that anticipates forces with predictive AI, adjusting thrust vectors and magnetic polarity thousands of times per second. The rider's inputs become suggestions. The bike's control system translates intention into safe trajectories. Use cases that sell. Why would anyone trade a traditional super bike for hovering magic? The pitch is simple: urban safety. No wheel spin, no flat tires, no road debris slamming you down. Emergency response: first responders can fly over traffic and rubble to reach victims faster. Military scouting: quiet, low-profile scouts that skim above minefields and marshes without tripping sensors. Racing: imagine leagues where pilots race through mag circuits, banking in 3 dimensions and pulling maneuvers impossible on tarmac. tarmac. Add convenience, instant lane changing that ignores potholes, silent arrivals at narrow alleys, and commuter corridors that float above rush hour congestion. For tactical teams, a hover bike's ability to disappear into a narrow gap or climb a terrace is operational gold. Prototypes and proofs. Small prototypes exist. University labs and a handful of startups have demoed Maglev scooters on short tracks, and DARPA-style programs toy with hover motorcycles for reconnaissance. Companies in urban transit test localized magnetic pads for cargo bots, which prove the basic principle. None of it scales perfectly yet, but every test that keeps a vehicle stable, controllable, and safe on a short demonstration track pushes the tech from fantasy toward reality. Breakthroughs in power electronics, superconducting materials, and compact cooling systems show incremental progress. Demonstrations that maintain rider comfort and control under emergency maneuvers are the milestones engineers chase. The dark side, warfare and lawlessness. Two edges sharpen the fantasy into a nightmare. First, combat gravity bikes are mobility platforms for asymmetric warfare. A unit of hover bikes can swarm urban defenders, bypass barricades, and vanish over walls. Their low radar signature and lack of classic tracks make them hard to target with conventional weapons. Second, regulation and policing fall behind innovation. Who owns the mag lanes? How do you license a vehicle that can float above public roads at 150 miles per hour? Criminals turn them into getaway machines and choke points vanish overnight. There's also environmental risk. Powerful magnetic fields could interfere with medical implants, critical electronics, or shipping sensors if not tightly controlled. Public adoption hinges on solved safety cases and strict electromagnetic guard bans. Timeline and roadmap. If investment surges and materials improve, basic urban hover bikes could appear in exclusive test zones within a decade. Hybrid models that mix wheels and hover capability might arrive sooner because they require less radical infrastructure. Military adoption could be faster. Armed services fund riskier prototypes and deploy tech in limited theaters. Mass consumer availability lingers longer, dependent on power density breakthroughs, regulations, and the political will to build safe corridors. Incremental rollout seems likely. Demo tracks, then private corridors, followed by regulated urban lanes. As batteries and coils shrink while power improves, the economic case for hover bikes strengthens. Regulatory frameworks, public perception, and rider training will determine whether gravity bikes become cultural icons or forbidden relics of a reckless age. This future demands deliberate stewardship. The gravity bike rewrites what a motorcycle can be. A machine that unshackles riders from pavement, expands tactical options for armies, and creates new forms of sport. But every leap forward comes with questions about control, safety, and who gets to ride the future. When the road disappears beneath your tires, the only question left is whether you learn to fly.